Hi guys, today we are going to be doing a project that could have been done as a Stamp It Sunday video, but I thought that I would skip the colouring part with you and do that off camera and go straight into the card making on this occasion, because I had a little bit of something that I thought might be a bit different, and if we do the colouring that doesn't really leave us a lot of time for the actual card making section. So I thought that we'd do it that way around. So let me just show you what we've got here first of all. So this card was inspired because I needed to make a cancer care type card. On this occasion it was for somebody who is now in remission, official remission, so 5 years all clear. So this is a Redonkadoodles design, and it was actually one of the new ones. I was fortunate that it had just come out. I think it was certainly up there just as a reasonably new at the time that I got this, but it had down the side here fight and fight. So all I did was I just changed these words here on my Photoshop, but otherwise the image is exactly the same, and I've put "you fought and you beat it," and I thought that was quite cute, so I've coloured that in, and I'll let you have a little bit of a closer look at that in a minute. But the colours had to be based around the blue ribbon, which was the colour of the ribbon for the type of cancer that that we were doing this card for the person for that had, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but anyway, I think you'll know what I mean. So I looked through my papers, and actually this kind of blue is quite a hard colour to find something, because it's meant to be kind of a celebratory type of card as well. I didn't want to go too muted and soft. I wanted to go quite bright and punchy with it. So I thought, I had a look through, and I literally got to the end of my papers and paper packs, and I was going through some of my loose sheets, and I came across this, and I thought, wow, these are just perfect. It's exactly the sort of thing I was after. So I picked up the squared one and the floral one, and that's where I got the rest of my colours from. And I thought that worked really well as well, because the boxing gloves could be red, which is obviously perfect because that's what they traditionally are. I mean, it doesn't matter for the purposes of our card, but I thought it worked. And then the green is this person's favourite colour, so I thought that was again perfect to bring the green in and really bring that into play. So that worked really well. So that's how I got my colour scheme. So let's have a bit of a closer look at our lady here. By the way, I don't know what paper pack these pages are from. They literally are just loose sheets that I had, so I really don't remember even where I got them from, I'm afraid. I have a feeling they might be an American Crafts, but if I've had them ages, so it's presumably would be something that's not necessarily still out and about. But if anybody knows what it is, I'd love for you guys to let me know. Okay, so I've come in quite close so you can get a nice look at the colouring. Okay, so I used quite a lot of colours, but they were sort of groups of colours. So we got the greens, the blues, the reds, the skin tones, and then the browns. So it really was just a case of doing our normal blends that you'll have seen me do before and that we did on previous videos, and just putting in the colour as before. What I did do on the eyes was I added in nice eyeshadow. So now I've caught you up with where I've got to on this. Let's now move forward and start making the actual card. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually finish off this image, because sorry, what I didn't say, having said I caught you up, is that I then used a craft knife, because this was printed, this is a digi image, and I printed it off, and then I used a craft knife and very carefully cut round, including all these little bits of hair, and actually it was very simple to do. It was very easy to do indeed, and I didn't have any problems with that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is actually take a piece of acetate, and I want to stick my double-sided sticky paper that I've got here. I don't know if you call it sticky paper, my double-sided sticky stuff anyway, and stick one side down on here. And then I'm going to attach my image to that using, to the acetate part, just using some glue, some regular glue, and then we will go from there. I have to say this is the only part of the card that I really know what I'm doing, and even then I'm not sure if it's going to work, so this could be interesting. So the first thing I need to do is peel back the paper, and then taking my acetate, and I suppose realistically I ought to stick it sort of nearer the edge just to waste less, but we'll see how we go. So just popping it down, try and make sure there's no bubbles, and then I'm just going to take my little roller here, the one that I save for things like this. I've got some bubbles. Don't want bubbles. Okay, so where I've got a couple of bubbles, all I'm going to do is take my little craft knife, and because it's going to be, well, I'm going to try and first of all and push them to the edge, and otherwise I will take my craft knife and basically pop them. Okay, so I couldn't get rid of all of the bubbles, but I don't think it'll matter once I do the next section anyway, and I'm just going to twist that on there to fit nicely, and that's going to actually get most of the bubbles outside of the bit that's going to show. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut across here to get rid of the excess acetate, because I don't want to waste that half. So let's just cut it off and pop it to one side. Now, don't do what I do and put it down and then think, where's that acetate, because you can't see it. Then I'm going to get some glue, and I'm just trying to think what's going to work best for this, and I think my trusty old glue gel is going to be the one for this, and use it just like a fine layer on the back of my little image here. I'm not going to be using it to pop her up or anything like that. It's literally just to stick her in place. So I'm going to be using just a little wood stick here. And what I don't want to do is obviously have so much of my glue gel that it actually seeps out onto my acetate as well. So I'm just going to be very careful. And taking my acetate, just remembering how I wanted this. So I'm just going to pop this down, and what I'm trying to do is just avoid any of the bubbles that are on this so that it doesn't show. And then actually there's a nice big one there, but anyway. And then just holding that down, pressing it down gently, and then just going to leave that to dry. And I just want to make sure the other side is, oh yeah, it's got the paper on it, I'm being silly. So we're just going to leave that to dry, because that's going to take a few minutes to set off enough for us to continue with the next step, which will include cutting around the outside of our heart. So I need to make sure it's 100% solid dry. Okay, so I have stuck that down as you saw, and now it's completely dry. So I just cut around the edges with the scissors, and I just cut these pieces off because they didn't need to be there, and it was just easier than trying to cut around that section. So the next thing I need to do is peel this backing off and use my glitter, and I've got this gorgeous beautiful dark blue. We're going to peel the back off, and then we're going to sprinkle this on, and hopefully what we'll get is a really pretty glittery effect coming through. So let's just try and see where to peel this. There we go. Okay. So I just got the corner up. Let me zoom you down a little bit. Okay, so I just got that little edge up. So we're just going to peel that back now. Like so. Okay, so you can see now you've got just the see-through part, and then we're going to take the glitter and we're going to sprinkle it over the top, and then we're going to rub it in with our finger so it really sticks down. Now obviously it's going to have to stick to all of it because otherwise you're just going to have sticky bits on the edges which won't necessarily work so well, so it's easier just to put the glitter on everything that's sticky. Let's just tip the whole lot on. Now obviously you won't be using all of that, that will all tip off and you'll use very little, but then we're just going to use our finger, or you could use a little sponge, whatever you're comfortable with, and we're just going to rub that in. Now obviously this is a really messy job from the point of view glitter gets everywhere. Personally it doesn't bother me, I love glitter, but we want to make sure it's really rubbed in so you get a really nice smooth finish on the acetate here. So let's just tip some of that off. Okay, so you can see just by rubbing this in, it's basically giving it it will give it more depth actually, because it's kind of rubbing all those pieces right into the glitter, into the adhesive. Now we'll come back to that. Okay, so there is our finished lady with her glittery background. I think that looks really pretty. And you could always add another layer if you wanted to, or you don't have to dust off so much on the back. But I quite like that. I wanted that more see-through look, and I think when you put the pattern underneath it's going to look really effective. So I'm going to put that to one side now for a minute, and we're going to make our card base. However, I did have an A3 piece of cardstock in the Hunky Dory, and it was this beautiful red which goes so lovely with our lady here with the red gloves. So I thought that would be really fun to have the inside of the card, which clashes horribly with my nails, with the red. So I cut that at 16 inches by 8 inches. And then we've got our pieces of card or paper here that we're going to put on the front. So we've just got to now decide exactly. Okay, so then that piece is going to stick down on here. Now it's going to give us a little edge around on all of the sides. Okay, so let's just stick this piece down. Make sure it's nice and gluey. Okay, so that's that piece done. Now I need to cut this piece here to size, and I want it to be the size of these squares here, but I need to put a piece of matting down. I want to mat it with probably red or the green even. I might go for the red, we'll see. And so I just need to make sure that when I mark it that I give a nice amount to put the mat on. Okay, so I've cut out a blue layer and a red layer to make two mats, because I did just do the red and I just thought the blue looked really nice with it as well. So we're going to pop those down in a moment. The other thing I did was I took this scrap of the blue and I just did a real rough cut. I literally just held it down and really rough cut round, and then stuck this piece on the back, because I thought with the blue behind it just really solid, made that more solid and gave that glitter a lot better look to it. So we've done that as well. So I'm just going to pop that to one side while it dries. It also will make it easier, I think, to glue down because of the extra there. So I'm going to take my, I'm just going to use my Pinflair glue gel for this because it's going to be easier to move it around and get it into place. So I'm just doing a really thin layer, we're not doing dimension, and then you can just use your fingers and squidge to make sure that the edges and stuff are nicely smoothed down, and also that the glue gel underneath, you're just smoothing that out where you've put it on. And I think that looks really, I love the colours together, really bit fun and funky, quite bold colours I think for me compared to what I normally do. And then we're going to put this in the middle here, like so, and then we're going to put some embellishments on. So we're going to need a little bit extra on the tails here because we've got the card on the front, so we want to make sure that there's enough depth. And we're going to put big blobs because I want this nicely raised. And then we're going to pop her down. Now you need to get it pretty right because otherwise you're going to have trouble. Now you can see, if you look at that, that's got a lot of height, but we're not going to keep it like that. We are going to gently squish it so that it sticks those gluey pieces down, but we are also going to keep the height. There we go. I'm not going to push any more because I don't want it to squelch out, and also I want that. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just to add these pearly swirls. So I'm just going to pop those down. I've just been playing around with the position of them. And just making sure it's all pressed down because we've got a few different layers there. Okay, so that's going to just look a little bit of detail at the top there. And then I want to do, I cut this piece in half, so this is the other half, and I just want to pop that in this corner here. So there we go. So then we've just got a little piece in the corner, and I think that was definitely easier to do it like that. And on the inside here, which I won't put down yet, but I found this gorgeous gem heart, and I thought that's got to go on the inside because it matches that, and it doesn't going to really work on the front. So I thought we've got to put that on the inside somewhere. So I've put that ready to use. I'm just going to put it to one side for now because it's making my front a little bit bumpy. So now we're going to start putting some flowers and things in this corner here. Okay, so I've laid out the flowers as I want them, and I've got a silk one here, some beautiful paper ones, a little glittery one underneath there, and some tiny little roses, and up here. So we're going to pop these down in place. So I'm going to start with this one because that's important to get it correct, because we don't want this rose, this silk flower to be overlapping the wording. So I need to make sure that that one is correct, and then we can work from there. And then I'm going to just get some tiny pearls and put them in the centre of this one here. And I'm just going to put a tiny piece of my glue gel in the middle here because I want to be sure that the pearls absolutely stay put. And then I'm going to use my little pokey tool and pop the pearls in place like a little cluster. There we go. So that's just a little cluster of pearls in the middle there, and we've got to make sure that dries completely because you can still have a little bit of the glue gel there showing through, so that's going to be fine. And then we're just going to go up to the top here where this flower actually already came with a cluster of pearls. Just put those in position as well. There we go. So that's that done. And then I just want to come back to here, and I've got a little hat pin. I've got one with crystals and one with pearls, so I'm just going to slide those. Not sure where I want them. Make sure they hit the glue. And I'm just not sure if I don't want a second one of pearls rather than crystal, because I'm not sure I like the crystal. And I think what we need, oh no, that's okay. I was going to say, I think we need a little bit more glue gel underneath, but I think we'll be okay. So I'm just putting a tiny blob of glue gel in each corner. Again, just to be sure that the pearls stay put, really, more than anything. And then I've got these gorgeous pearls that we just used, but in the bigger. So we'll just get these and pop them on top of our glue gel. Okay, so I'm now going to leave this to completely set on the front, because if I try and work on the inside now, I'm definitely going to ruin the outside. So we're going to give that a good time to set, maybe an hour or so. And okay, so the inside I have now completed, and as you can see, I've put that gorgeous gems at the top here, and then at the bottom I used my Martha Stewart punch, which is this gorgeous deep edged heart punch, which is really pretty, and I punched out the red hunky-dory, some scraps, and also some scraps on the square cardstock or paper, and the same for the flowery one, and the same on this side. So we've got it running across, although it's layered there on the red, so you've got like a border which looks really effective. And then I just used my oval nesties and my scalloped oval nesties for this bit, and I actually used the small and the large, so the small set for this one and the large set for this, and that means that you get a 1/4 inch difference here, as opposed to, I think it's about an 1/8 inch difference on there. So that was quite effective. I thought that would be really nice, because then you'd see the pattern showing through, and that just gives us somewhere to write. So that's the inside all done, and I think that brings the heart theme coming forward into the card itself, so that looks really cool. And here's the front all finished, as you saw before, and the glitter all done. And again, with this you could have used your flakes, all sorts, but obviously here I wanted to use glitter because it was in keeping. And I just think that looks really nice. I was a little bit concerned when I first started about using such a bold pattern and about how the two would work together, but I personally am really pleased with it. I'd love to know what you guys think and hear your comments. So otherwise, I think we're all finished. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.